Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and today I wanted to sit down and talk a little bit about the benefits of breastfeeding and formula feeding. The reason I wanted to make this video specifically is because I feel like everyone is talking about the benefits of breastfeeding, and while I completely 100% agree that breastfeeding is amazing and I love breastfeeding my babies. When I had my first baby, I really struggled with breastfeeding. And when I was doing all kinds of research to try to prepare to take care of my first baby, I, came across all the information about breastfeeding and, the basics on how to do it, but most importantly, how much it was pushed, how important the benefits of breastfeeding was pushed. And I just want to even the playing field a little bit. I don't think it's fair to only talk about how important breastfeeding is because some moms can't breastfeed, and it really puts a lot of pressure on moms to choose breastfeeding, and sometimes that's just not the right choice for them. And I think that talking about the benefits of formula is also important because it nourishes our babies just as well as breast milk does, and it is a completely valid choice to make to feed your baby with formula. With that being said, how about instead of talking about breast milk first, let's talk about the benefits of formula first. The first benefit is that you can buy formula. You don't have pressure on yourself or your body to produce the correct amount of milk that your baby needs. If you need more milk, you can buy more formula, and that is honestly extremely stress relieving if you come from a place of not making enough milk and feeling the stress of how am I going to feed my baby. So the fact that you can buy formula is definitely a benefit in my eyes. The next benefit is that your spouse is able to bond with baby by feeding the baby maybe as much as you are able to feed the baby, or nearly as much. Obviously with breastfeeding, you can pump and put your milk into a bottle and your spouse can feed the baby, but it comes with more work for you. So the fact that your spouse can help, or someone else, another loved one, can help feed your baby and bond with your baby that way is definitely a benefit too. Third benefit is that you get your body back much sooner than if you were breastfeeding for say 6 months or a year or something like that. And you're able to focus more on healing your body and resting potentially. And honestly, formula doesn't hurt. When you first start breastfeeding, generally most people experience some soreness, and on top of healing from postpartum, it can honestly be a lot. So it can be a benefit for sure that you get your body back much sooner and you can focus more on resting and enjoying your baby. The fourth benefit is that your baby may stay full longer. Formula is a bit more complex than breast milk, so it takes longer for the baby to digest it. So that could potentially mean some more sleep for you, and that is for sure a benefit. The fifth benefit is that it has all the necessary nutrients to nourish your baby. While people love to compare breast milk to formula and say breast milk is better because it has antibodies for your baby, and while that is an amazing thing, people kind of downplay and don't talk a lot about how formula is honestly 100% the nutrients that your baby needs. So while it doesn't have the antibodies, it does have all the nutrients that your baby needs to grow and thrive and be a happy and healthy baby. And that is very important to remember if you decide to feed your baby formula instead of breast milk. The sixth benefit is something that I also feel like people don't talk enough about. And I think it's because, everyone wants to push breast milk because of the antibodies and how it is a natural food source for your baby. But the sixth benefit is that it is a lot less mentally stressful for the mom. And honestly, this is a huge benefit. This is like key in my mind. If you are struggling with breastfeeding, or you are feeling guilty for whatever reason when it comes to breastfeeding, that you can't breastfeed, or it's just causing a lot of stress for you, even if you can do it and it's going well in the sense that your baby is growing. But if you are struggling mentally, nobody talks enough about how the stress relief of formula is worth it to decide to choose to give that to your baby instead, because our mental health matters too, and I want you to know that. And if you choose to feed your baby formula because you're struggling mentally, then I want you to know that that is a very valid reason to pick formula. Okay, so now I want to sit down and talk about the benefits of breastfeeding. The first benefit of breast milk is that it changes with your baby as your baby grows. So it has all of the nutrition that your baby needs, and as your baby gets older, the nutrition changes to adapt to what your baby needs, and that is such a cool thing. Second benefit is something that I already touched on before, but that breast milk has antibodies in it, and that is truly so cool. And if you and your baby are exposed to an illness and your body picks it up, and your immune system will then start creating antibodies to fight off this illness and pass it through to your baby in your breast milk. And honestly, that's probably the coolest part of breast milk, in my opinion, and the reason that I feel I really put a lot of emphasis on breastfeeding, because I want to protect my baby in that way if I'm able to. The third benefit is that breastfeeding can be much more convenient than formula feeding. When you are leaving the house, you don't have to consider all the things that you need to pack. You don't have to pack bottles or formula or water. And if you were to get stuck out of the house for some reason, you don't have to worry about, oh no, did I bring enough food for the baby? And that can be pretty helpful and not stressful when you are out of the house. The fourth benefit is that breastfeeding actually reduces certain diseases that the mom can develop over time. It reduces the risk of ovarian cancer, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. The fact that breastfeeding can do this in the mom's life is honestly pretty crazy and really awesome, and is for sure a benefit. Also, sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. They're playing and watching a show while I film this, so I apologize if that's distracting. The fifth benefit is pretty cool and sort of linked, I think, to the antibody benefit, but breast milk can reduce babies' risk of developing certain illnesses like stomach bugs and ear infections, and that's pretty cool if you ask me. If we are able, then who wouldn't want to do that for their babies? The sixth benefit for breast milk is that it is less expensive. While you do obviously need to nourish your body to make sure that you are feeding baby, and you will need to obviously eat maybe a little bit more, I don't think the amount of food that you are eating would be equal to the amount of formula that you would need to buy to nourish your baby. So while it is more mentally taxing, it is for sure less financially expensive. So that is a benefit in my book. So while the popular saying breast is best is, I think, has some validity to it, breast milk is superior to formula in certain ways, in the sense that it has antibodies that can help protect your baby and health benefits for mama. Formula is more beneficial in the sense that it reduces mama's mental load. And sometimes that's completely necessary, and I think more superior than the antibody benefit, in my opinion. And if that is you and you are choosing formula because of those reasons, then that is a completely valid choice. Please do not beat yourself up over it. Please don't think that you're a bad mom because you can't or are choosing not to breastfeed your baby. I made this channel because I believe that there is just too much pressure, unobtainable pressure on new moms nowadays, that we need to do all of the right things, that we need to exclusively breastfeed, that we need to do X, Y, and Z. And while I think knowing the knowledge of all of the benefits of one choice over another is extremely important, and that's what I want to talk about on this channel. I want to give you the knowledge as well. I want you to come here and not feel pressure to perform one way or another, and to think that one way is superior because all of the moms online say it's better. I struggled with postpartum depression for the first year of my baby's life. I never reached out for help when I probably should have, and if I could help some moms see that they don't need to put all of this pressure on themselves and that they're good moms and that their love is enough for their baby, then I've done a good job. That's what I'm setting out to do. So if you think that that would be helpful for you or you would like to follow along, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.